So the next paint defect to remove is a scuff mark that has a little bit of paint transfer. This most likely happened from a shopping cart at the grocery store, or maybe they bumped into something when opening the door. There's a number of different reasons how this happened. I'm going to show you how to fix it. Now, with the scratch, we had to sand it down, and it was a very articulate, delicate polishing process. With this, it's going to be a little bit quicker because this doesn't appear to feel as deep as the other scratch. Now, granted, this might not be removed 100%, but again, big picture detail, it'll look better. You can do this by hand. However, it would take a lot more time and a lot more effort, so I like to do everything by machine. In that case, I have the 1-inch setup here with my rotary attachment for this machine. It's battery powered, made in Germany. Very smooth, very powerful. And I'm simply going to apply some compound to my pad here. And before I get started, I gotta tell you, I love having magnetic lights like this because they make the area illuminated, so it's easier to see exactly what you're working on. And it's magnetic, so you can stick to your vehicle's panel. These lights are awesome. They also work great for wrenching on the car. I stick mine to my strut tower when I'm in the engine bay, or from underneath the car, the strut assembly. They're awesome to have handy. So I can see exactly what I'm working on. Take my machine, going to spread it out before I turn it on. And then this is a rotary attachment again, so I want to make sure I keep my pad moving at all times. I don't want to keep it stationary in one spot. And a little bit of swing is okay. Keep this moving. And then there might be some areas where I'll actually have to sand if they're too deep for this process. I'll know pretty quickly. Turn my machine off, use my towel, and wipe it off. Now, it took care of a lot of it, but it actually looks like, to do this more thoroughly, I might have to sand. So I'm going to swap over to some sanding discs and then go ahead and sand the finish. But again, you always want to try the least aggressive approach first. I tried this, and obviously it made it look better, but it's not to my satisfaction. So the next step is to sand, and then I'll remove my sanding marks using this tool, and then followed by the Graphene 3-in-1. But before I do that, I need to actually sand. So I'll change the rotation of the tool to the 6mm orbit, put my sanding disc back on. And I'll need some soapy water. Spray the area down and get the sanding. And what's especially nice about this tool is how little it weighs. It's not a heavy machine. It's very easy to hold on to, very lightweight. Basically no fatigue on my arms at all. And that's important when you're detailing an entire vehicle. You want to make sure you keep the area lubricated. Not a ton of water, but you want enough to where the sanding disc is not cutting too aggressively. So whenever you're wet sanding a vehicle or even dry sanding it, if you have that kind of system, you have to know when to stop. As a car guy and as a detailer and a perfectionist, I really want to make this look perfect, but I have to have realistic expectations and know that my goal is to improve the overall look and to not make it perfect, because paint is very, very thin. And when I'm sanding, I have to pay close attention to this raised body line, like I mentioned, so I can't go really aggressive here because the paint is thinner. So now that it's been sanded, I'll swap back over to my rotary attachment with my microfiber pad. Get these fibers fluffed up here using my fingernail. It's a caveman technique. Apply some compound. Spread it out. Machine turned off. Turn it on, and then get to work. Turn the machine off. Inspect my results, and I'll tell you, it looks a heck of a lot better. No, it's not perfect, but again, my goal is not perfection, because this is a 20-year-old daily driver, and I'm simply trying to save the owner a little bit of money so he doesn't have to go to a body shop and have them fix it or repaint it. Because if he does that, then he has to get the insurance involved. You're talking his deductible, which could be $1,000 or $1,500. For a few minutes that it took me to do this, it looks a heck of a lot better. So now I'm using the dual action rotation along with the Graphene 3-in-1 to refine the surface, remove any holograms, and also protect it. And wow, that looks great. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining me. I can't just stop here. I have to finish the rest of the Equinox, so good thing I have my polishers, my compound, my 3-in-1. Stay tuned for more episodes of Rudder's Detailing Garage. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. I'm going to get to work.